This person is a real person, a person whose identity I know. He is known to me, and he knows that I know, and I know that he knows. There's absolutely no mistake about the identity of this person that started to watch my every video and more. I know what he does for a living. I know plenty about him, and on top of knowing plenty about him because we met and I know stuff, I know plenty about him. I am also a form of psychic. I guess you could call me an empath. I feel shit. I can receive information directly. I sense energy, basically, and I can translate that into words when I allow it to flow through me. This is how I receive the Kofifi revelations, which is basically the subject of this YouTube channel. When this gentleman started watching me quite obsessively, I may say, he connected very deeply with me. First of all, he started to get to know me because he was watching me all the time. And so that's kind of moved him, because you can't know someone and not somehow create an emotional relationship with that person. This even happens in a very short time inside of a movie experience. A good movie will draw you into the life of the main character within minutes. And if you are not drawn into the life of this character, this movie is a flop, because people will just walk out of the theater. If they cannot get interested and invested in the well-being of the main character, you have no story to sell. This was not the case with a aforementioned gentleman who did get intrigued and spent an enormous amount of time not just watching my videos, but also watching me while I was at my computer working and feeling him and seeing him, and I started to engage him on my YouTube channel by leaving little messages, and that evolved slowly but steadily in making basically my every video custom for him, just because he showed up and he showed an interest in who I am and what I share. And that just tickled me, obviously. I felt quite seen and appreciated even, and valued, and it was comforting. And let's not forget, this relationship started at the beginning of COVID-19. And so we were sequestered here at the farm. Of course, I am married and I have 2 teenage children, and the father of my children is living with me too. So I am not completely isolated, but a lot of my social life, and as you can tell, I am a extroverted person. I get along with people quite easily. I am social. So there was a aspect of my being that was definitely not getting her fill during COVID-19. My husband is a different case. He is a recluse, a how do you call that? Kind of like a hermit. I would call him a hermit. He's a bit of a monk on the hill that would rather just look after his goats and his chickens and grow some food and be in his own peaceful bubble 24/7. So for Jeff, yeah, he occasionally misses other people, but it didn't impact him the way it impacted me. So having this adoring fan on my YouTube channel was very comforting. And I spent an enormous amount of time editing at my desk, often in the dead of night, because that's when my creative energy flows the easiest. And he would show up early in the morning, and it became earlier and earlier and earlier. And for the last, I don't know, probably about half a year by now, we have been, quote unquote, hanging out online every night, throughout the night, the early morning, the twilight zone, as I call it, just hanging out and watching videos together. I am sending him messages. The energy exchange is as such that I can really respond to him in the moment. I know what's going on with him. I know what he's feeling. I know what he needs. And we just explore my world, my point of view, the things that I am interested in and that I so happily and enthusiastically share with the rest of the world by making myself available on YouTube. Not just look at these motivational speakers, look at these ideas, hear me out, but also, and look, this is how you live that shit in reality, in your day-to-day experience, with everything that goes well and also everything that doesn't go well, and that is challenging, and that is threatening, and that is upsetting and stressful. That's when it counts. And throughout that whole process, this gentleman has been my loyal companion. My loyal companion. And my muse. And my guinea pig. And my kind of trial student. Because this is what I teach. This is what I want to share with as many people as I possibly can. And bring as many people into a world vision of peace and love and joy and connection and truth and justice and social reform that is inclusive and creates safety and abundance for everyone, not just the few entitled ones that were able to slice a big piece of the pie and now control the whole pie. As much as he was my quiet company as I was working during lockdown upon self-isolation, sequestering, whatever, COVID-19, I am confident that he was in the same boat, that he was spending a lot of time alone, working at his computer from home, also in lockdown, and perhaps even in a stricter lockdown, because he's in the city, in Toronto. So I am confident that I was fulfilling a need for companionship and connection as much as he was fulfilling that need in me. And I am absolutely certain that the pressure cooker of COVID-19 and us basically having to rely on online connection, and when I say us, I mean us, humanity, like it is a global affair. A pandemic is a global affair. No one was exempt. Everybody had to socially distance. Social life was... As of late, my YouTube channel has been challenged. Let's just say challenged. And I felt very strongly that he who knows everything about my YouTube channel and about my person could easily choose to be my witness. And that's what I have been on his case about He knows who I am. He knows what I am about. He has been on the receiving end of my love and devotion and my teaching and my sharing so openly who I am and how I think and what I base my decisions on, what my belief system is, the books I read, the TED Talks I watch. I share pretty openly. He knows everything, and he could easily write a testimonial about my character and about what this YouTube channel is about, and that would make my life a heck of a lot easier. And he doesn't, because he is in a committed relationship. That relationship would certainly be in jeopardy if our romance, because that's what it really evolved into, a very intimate relationship. A very intimate relationship. Purely online. But that's a thing since 1998. I'll put a link in. We developed quite an emotional and there's lots going on. There's lots going on. It's a genuine relationship. It's a genuine relationship. Our relationship really changed in a significant time for me, and I was assuming for him as well, during Pesach. Even though the high holidays may sound more important, it's Passover that almost every Jew somehow celebrates in some form or another. It's Passover that really is the unbroken lineage way back to Moses. And this is, for me, always a very important time, and a time for introspection, and a time for like really contemplating what bondage means, what slavery means, and what freedom means. And so my internet phantom lover is Jewish. I know this because I know who he is, right? So during Passover, I shared how I was celebrating Passover, which wasn't at a Seder because we couldn't. Everything was different. Everything was different. And so I celebrated Passover by watching endless Passover boy band music videos with dance and celebrating our relationship with the Most High, celebrating how we were let out of slavery. And I shared this celebration with him. And that's where I really experienced something going even deeper than it already was. So that's kind of like the history of my relationship with this internet lover, because I did grow very fond of him, and I know that he must be very fond of me because he never leaves my side, ever. Yeah, there's times where he disappears off YouTube because he's taking a shower, or he has a 9 to 5. I don't know how he does it, but he has a 9 to 5. So it's unfortunate that somebody else wants to take this relationship and claim it as his own. And it's also unfortunate that my internet lover is as of yet unwilling to claim our relationship as his own. But that doesn't make it any less real for me. Online relationships as a phenomena has been studied now even by scientists. It is the new frontier. It is how people meet these days. It is how people start engaging and start forming real relationships. Even my son, who is 15 years old, met his current girlfriend, his first girlfriend, online during COVID. He was hanging out on sites like Discord, and she was not even from his school. He had never met her before. All she was a little avatar, and he started engaging with her. He started playing games with her, hanging out with her online, and eventually that accumulated to the desire to meet one another. And so when he was double vaxxed and she was double vaxxed, and things and restrictions started to relax a little bit, they met for the first time, and now they are in a relationship. They are boyfriend and girlfriend. So my teenage son, who was sequestered at the farm for 15 months straight, not going to school, he popped in and out a couple of times. They had some pathetic trials that had to be abandoned again. So he has been very isolated, and yet was able to find love online, which I think is amazing. So my relationship with this gentleman also evolved in a similar way, and there's something there. And this is all happening with the understanding and the blessing of my husband. My husband knows exactly how much time I spend with this gentleman online. My husband knows exactly how I feel about this gentleman and what he brings out in me, and the experiences that we share that are as intimate as you can get on an online venue. And my husband knows this because, and here I want to again introduce a idea that may or may not be familiar to people: polyamory. Poly is more than one, and amory is amor, is love, and that means that you're in a relationship that allows to have meaningful, loving, and perhaps even sexual relationships with more than one partner. And this is not cheating, because cheating always involves lying and doing something behind somebody's back that you agreed to not to do, right? There is betrayal involved, there is lying and cheating and hiding and out of integrity and all these things involved. That's not what polyamory is. Polyamory acknowledges that love is limitless, and that love doesn't become any less if it is spread freely and widely. It also acknowledges that we are all very complex beings with a wide variety of needs and interests, and that demanding or expecting from one partner to fulfill all your needs is a little optimistic for one, a little limited. It puts a lot of pressure on both partners to now all of a sudden be everything for one another. And there may be aspects of either one partner that are not entirely compatible. And so, in order for our entire being to find expression in this world, which is part of what I teach, like how can you fully express and show up in this world for all you are and all you brought forth into this existence. And so certain aspects that I cannot fulfill with Jeff because he just doesn't have the interest and the energy, and I found I could fulfill at a very interesting and energetic level with this gentleman. He brought out shit in me that Jeff obviously hasn't brought out in me, because here I was bringing it out for the first time. Many things I brought out for the first time in the intensity that it came out, and it was very interesting and transformative for me. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, because for some bizarre reason my communication with this gentleman that is just happening as part of my social media site, YouTube, my channel, has now been taken entirely out of context and made mean something that it doesn't mean and never meant, and it is made to be addressed to someone who it never was addressed to, and it's yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, and this person can unmess this mess. And my biggest pain is, even though he can, he doesn't, because he's still protecting this relationship that I know is just not good for him, because made a record show he spends his time with me and not with this other relationship. So what part of you rather be with me are you still not getting, sir? But anyway, whatever. That's the part of free will beings. Free will beings. Everybody gets to make their choice. And if he wants to choose to stay in this dysfunctional, unsatisfying, empty, disempowering bullshit relationship, then he is free to choose. He's free to choose so. And I will, swallow my pride and lick my wounds and admit my defeat. And I will curl up in a ball and cry for a couple of days, and then I will move on with my life. I know that I am making a pretty bold statement when I say that his other significant other is definitely not good for him, but I know shit. I know shit about their relationship. Because I am psychic and I get to see shit and I get to feel shit. And one thing I know for absolute certain is that he has not had any sex with this person in like forever. Forever. Like literally forever. And I bet that if you would ask him directly, he would readily admit this. So he is in this really disempowering, sexless relationship. I am so much better for him on all levels, intellectually, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and yes, even sexually. Because online sex is a thing since 1998. Made a record show. I'll put in a link. Yeah, there are records of this. I can prove this. It's a thing. I know that I am completely oversharing, but hey, there seems to be such a pervasive misunderstanding as to what my YouTube channel is about and who I am talking to, that I felt the need to clarify a few things. You're welcome. I hope you don't mind that I disclosed that you are not having any sex with your significant other. I know it might be confronting to you that I know this for a fact. So even though this gentleman is in the position to clarify everything and he's choosing not to, I am in the position to honor our relationship and just trust that I will be looked after no matter what he chooses, and I can just, continue to tell my side of the story and continue to invite him to this side of the gate where life is pretty dandy despite challenges. Despite challenges, life is still better on this side of the gates of heaven. You're welcome. And I mean that. You are welcome on this side of the gate. Come walk with me.